Sledge joining us on Knocking Doors Down. What is up, my good brother?
Hey, brother. How are you, my friend?
Excellent. Good to see you, and you're doing great. We already feel people in on the background, and it's cool that for those that are catching us on YouTube, we got the Coffee with Sledge background, and we'll talk about how you started that. You're doing your own vodcast and getting live on Twitch. Which thank you for having Mikey and myself on.
Dude, I mean, look at you guys. You guys are killing it. Why would I not have you guys on my show? gotta get the rub, right, brother?
That's right. It's all about the rub.
It's all about the rub.
Of course, I follow you, of course, on social media, and for anyone that is listening to the podcast, you can check in the description. You got Sledge's social media, Ring of Honor kicking back up, which it's so cool to do. A little background for those. Sledge and I have known each other about a decade from the old wrestling business. Of course, Sledge wrestles. I just got on microphones and talked because that's what I do. Let's fill people a little bit on what's going on with Ring of Honor before we get into the background, your struggles with alcoholism and other stuff.
Ring of Honor, man, is, if you guys don't understand, not understand, what's a good word to say? Ring of Honor is an awesome product. Like, what we went on break because of the whole COVID-19 and the world shutting down and being in a pandemic, and we just started back up, man. We just did the Pure tournament that just finalized. Jonathan Gresham, Pure champion. Everything we're doing right now is just wrestling, pure professional wrestling, and it's just absolutely insane. The product's great. We aren't doing any fans right now just because of everything that's going on with the COVID-19 and whatnot, but it doesn't matter if the fan, it does matter that the fans are there, but like what we're doing right now, you watch on TV and you feel like you're a part of it. Mm-hmm. You really do, 100%. And I'm so blessed to be a part of just an amazing company like Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
What is it like for you with no fans there? Is that weird? Like, I'm sure you guys feed off the energy of the fans, but now that the fans are gone, is that weird for you? Was that a bit of an adjustment?
I've done so many quote unquote dark matches for like the bigger companies like WWE and so on, where it was just, it's kind of normal to me.
Right.
Because I've done so many quote unquote dark matches where there was nobody in there and it was before doors, just to kind of see how I was. Right. So it's not bad. Now, don't get me wrong, I do feed off the crowd and the energy and everything that's going on because they fuel your fire. But at the same time, though, the no crowd thing, it's not that bad,
Yeah.
So, and that's my personal opinion.
Right.
And I do miss you. I do miss you guys.
Well, just knowing how you work, because I don't know how many matches I called for you or just went and watched you work for other promotions that I wasn't working for. You were a guy that energy of the crowd and getting them involved, or when you were going for something a little more high risk, you got them involved. How did you have to kind of change that approach, or did you just kind of, fuck it, I'm not going to change it. This is my moveset. This is what I do. This is Sledge in the ring.
Oh, we can cuss on this thing?
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Fucking A.
Fucking B. I pretty much fuck it. It's fuck it, man. This is, I want to entertain the people at home. Because doing an indie show is great, but 9 times out of 10, like the cameras are there and it's like pre-recorded, and then it's not, sometimes you can see it, sometimes you don't. This, like, we're a TV product.
Yeah.
We're out every Saturday night. So we're entertaining the people at home. So you have to hit that fucking button. You have to. And entertain them at home. And that's exactly what we're doing. And I'm telling you, man, Ring of Honor has the best product out there right now, bar none. Better than WWE, better than Impact, better than AEW. I guarantee you, man, you watch our product, you're going to get sucked in, and you're going to be like, this is real professional fucking wrestling.
If you're a purist, it's got that nature to it. It's, it's the no fluff. It's just, here it is, hard
hitting fucking action, man.
There is some potatoes thrown in some of the matches for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And just how technical they are too.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pure tournament was just so technical. Anywhere from Jonathan Gresham, Josh Woods, Wheeler Yuta, Tony Deppen. Just the list goes on and on. Dalton Castle, I mean, I'm PJ Black. I mean, those guys
yeah.
put on clinics.
Yeah.
Clinics.
Yeah,
You
PJ
know?
Black is definitely one of them that for me is up there.
Yeah, PJ's great. PJ is a fantastic talent. And what we're airing right now, I mean, on TV is just it's pure wrestling, and it's not necessarily like surrounded by the pure tournament. I mean, we have guys like Mike Bennett just came back, which would be a great guest for you guys. On your guys' podcast, he is a recovering addict as well. Was in WWE. He's now teaming with Matt Taven, and he's going against Vinny, and we have guys like Brody King, Roosh, Dragon Lee. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And well, myself, I mean, we have some of the best professional wrestlers on the planet right now. We really do.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you included yourself. Don't sell yourself short there.
Putting everybody over, we're putting everybody over, but I got to put myself over a little bit here.
Put yourself over. So of course, where you live, and then you've been having to fly out for Ring of Honor. So what's it been like for you? Not only having to do that travel, but what's the COVID testing procedures? Because our listeners, they probably not familiar with that. We've encountered our stuff with flying, and then some other guests we've had on as far as production, getting, Mike the Situation, Leah, Caitlyn Jenner, they were all getting tested 4 or 5 times a week. So what's that all encompassing been like? Because that shit's chaotic.
The protocol that Ring of Honor has to keep all of us safe is Bar none. Bar none. There it is. English. We speak words here.
Got this, Sledge.
Yeah, definitely. Is some of the best that you can ask for. Yeah. It really is. We get tested multiple times while we're there. We're socially distancing. We're keeping isolated in our rooms. We have a quarantine. We're getting. We have our own separate locker rooms that we have to keep 6 feet away from each other. The athletic commission is on top of us nonstop to make sure that we are. Ring of Honor spares no expense to keeping us safe, putting out a great product, and making sure that we are all taken care of, bottom line. Yeah. I've been tested. I have a streak going right now. I got the Undertaker streak, man. I'm 13-0 on COVID test. I'm negative. So
you're 13? That's how many you've taken
I've taken 13 COVID tests. Yeah.
Damn.
This past week of taping, I took 3.
Shit.
So is that one upon arrival, one like prior to getting in the ring, one before leaving, or?
Exactly. Prefer before we get there, when we get there, and before we leave.
I'll be damned.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump back to Little Sledge. Of course, people don't know. Real name, Brian. Yep. Not many of us call you that. I've known you a decade. I think I've only called you it like on this show. That's the only time I can think of it. But what were you like as a kid, and when did the passion for professional wrestling really start?
I imagine you just running around beating people up as a little kid.
No, that's the total opposite, man. I was the kid who was getting beat up.
Oh shit!
Oh,
gotcha.
wow.
Yeah, okay. Man. I was the short, fat kid who got picked on the whole time growing up, man. I never could find my place. Yeah. And I didn't have really a whole lot of friends growing up because I just kept getting picked on and kept getting beat up. Yeah. There was a guy that I used to walk from the bus stop, and I used to walk the long way around because he used to bully me.
Yeah. Shit.
And now it's funny because he hits me up on Facebook or whatever other social media platform I have, and he's like, "Man, I can't believe like what you're doing, man. It's so cool. Like, look at you, man. You're so yada yada." I'm like, dude, I built my wall because of guys like you.
Yeah.
You
tell him that?
I haven't, because I don't want to give him the gratification.
Sure.
Yeah. Understandable. We had Sean Kanan on. Last year, Star Karate Kid 3, who was the bad guy villain, and ironically, similar kind of story. Granted, he didn't fall to addiction, but definitely, the fat kid felt the outsider, I never knew that, man. You never told me that.
Yeah, man. I was short and fat, man. I didn't hit my growth spurt until probably around like 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade. And then that's when I started kind of rebelling. Like right after my dad passed is when I started rebelling really, really badly.
Oh, wow.
And not being able, what's the best way to put it? Not giving a shit, really. Yeah. Honestly. And then that's where the fights started coming in. I finally just got fed up with people picking on me. And that's where I just started fighting people just because. I mean, you could tell me, you told me one thing wrong, I was fighting you. Mm-hmm. Like whether I was going to lose or not, I was fighting you.
Because that's ultimately what you've been pushed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, fuck, man. I mean, boy, I didn't. How did your dad pass? And the sound in your voice, you and he were probably pretty close.
We were the closest, man. Every time I would come home crying, and them picking on me, man, he would pick me back up, 100%. And I was never a smart kid, man. I'm still not really super book smart, any way, shape, and form. I'm street smart now, sure. And I'm kind of business smart to a point, but. When it comes to, if you see my social media posts, man, like there's a lot of some misspelled words and some mispunctuation, brother. I'll tell you that much. I wasn't good in school. I didn't get good grades. It was just one of those things, man, where he just kept picking me up. But yeah, me and my dad were super close. He died of viral and bilateral pneumonia.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, in 97 on April Fool's Day.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can only imagine then, of course, like you said, then once he passed, it was on because you didn't have him to even go to for the support anymore. And
no figure could come around me to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like my next door neighbor, we were super close with my next door neighbor, and he would come and try to tell me what to do. And I'm like, fuck you, man. Let's fight. And he was like a 3rd-degree black belt and like, and like karate. And he's like, and he would seriously be like, you think you're big and bad, huh? I'm like, yeah. And he'd like stand up to me. I'd be like, okay. And I literally would stand up to him and try to swing at him. And he literally would just knock me straight back down 100%. And he's like, dude, you're going to learn you're going to learn sooner or later. You're not, somebody's going to be bigger and badder than you.
Yeah.
You know? And I had that chip on my shoulder for a long time, even going into after high school. And I got arrested. Right after high school, I got arrested fairly quickly, probably within a year's time. Like when I was 18, I was incarcerated.
What occurred there? Was it just a regular street fight? Was it intoxication included, or?
There was no intoxication included. I got mixed up with the wrong people, and they did it. I don't really want to talk about it live on air. I apologize, but
no, that's okay, man.
They did some stupid shit,
sure,
and I got mixed up into it. 100%. Yeah. I was looking for fast cash quickly. Yeah. Is the best way to put it. Right. And I got ratted out, and I did some time. And after that, I did 6 months inside. And after that is I didn't have anywhere to go, and I became homeless.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what, after your dad passed, what other family was around? Anyone?
I had my mother, but she fell into a depression, kind of locked herself in the bedroom. She would come home from work and lock herself in the bedroom, and it was pretty much like me and my sister to fend for ourselves. And when my sister turned 16, she moved out. So then it was just me, and I don't really talk to any of my family, 100%. Like I very rarely, like I talk to my cousin, my sister, and an aunt every great once in a while. But yeah, when it comes to my personal family, I don't talk to anybody, really. I'm kind of like the black sheep.
The Knocking Doors Down autobiography by Carlos Vieira. It takes you deep into his destructive past and how racing saved his life and opened the door to give back to the community. And 100% of the sales go directly to the Carlos Vieira Foundation, an organization committed to raising awareness for addiction, mental health, and autism. And for inspiration and motivation, tune in weekly to the podcast every Thursday for real-life episodes from celebrities and local heroes. Get Knocking Doors Down today at kddmediacompany.com or Amazon.
Did you just recognize that maybe they were toxic and just didn't want any more involvement? Or, sometimes that's, people don't identify that, we'll say family first, but fuck, man, sometimes family is the most toxic individuals to have around and the most negative. And sometimes you love them, but it's like, I'm sorry. This is my tipping point.
Well, what happened was when I was homeless, because my biological mother works for the federal government. And when I got incarcerated, she got a call saying that, your son got incarcerated. And I got out. And when I was homeless, I called her and asked her, hey, I need help. Like, I'm going to die on these streets. I'm sleeping on the streets. I had a trash bag of my clothes saying, I'm going to die on these streets. I need help. And she says, there's nothing I can do. And she hung up the phone.
Jeez, fuck.
I will never forget that day of her telling me that there's nothing I can do, and hung up the phone on me. And I will never, ever forgive her for that. Because I would go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Is mom still around?
Yeah, she's still around. She's still alive to this day. Absolutely.
Do you guys have any type, like, I know you said you don't talk to them that much, but are you any kind of conversation ever, even during the holidays or anything like that?
Last time I talked to my biological mother, she asked for my social security number and my birth date to put me in her will. And I sent her a nice message back and said, I don't need anything from you. And if you don't know my birth date,
I was just going to say she
by the person who gave me birth,
yeah,
there's a problem.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Well, I got to ask you, what point, because it sounds like, your dad's passing, a lot of angst start. Is that kind of when, one of our common bonds is music, hard rock and metal? Was that something that you shared with your dad, or is that something that kind of, as you lost without that mentor now of your father, that was kind of something you reached out to? Because I know both Mikey and me, it was like wanting to be like Motley Crue, and Mikey was into Johnny Thunders and, skateboarders and all that shit.
Guns N' Roses, baby.
Guns N' Roses, baby.
Guns N' Roses, baby.
Music, it was, when I was growing up, like, I was a huge rap fan. I know I don't look like a huge rap fan, but I was a huge rap fan, man. Anywhere from like Puff Daddy, Mace, Tupac, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, going. But I was walking by my sister's room one day, and she was bumping Anthrax, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm playing drums in like middle school, on the snare drum and stuff, and I'm listening to, not really having the comprehension of like what a drum set was. Sure. And I'm like, dude, what is this sound coming out of her bedroom? And I walk into her bedroom, and she's just jamming out to Anthrax. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Next thing you know, I'm like stealing her CDs, like Hendrix, Metallica, you name it, man. And then that was my introduction to like metal music. And then I got a drum set and started playing drums. And I used to put the headphones on and play with the songs all the time. And, played in a couple bands here and there, but that's where I kind of definitely fell in love with music. It made me escape what I was doing and all my problems. Sure. It let me escape for that little time, because I would play when my biological mother wasn't home, because the minute she got home, she would tell me to knock it the fuck off, and then she would walk into her room. Knock it the fuck off, stop playing. And then I wasn't able to touch the drum set the rest of the night.
Right.
So
see, that's the beauty of music itself, man. It can take you away from, not to make this about me, but a really quick story. My mom had a brain aneurysm, and we didn't know if she was going to live or die. We had no idea if she was going to live or die. And we couldn't stay at the hospital, obviously. We were in Fresno, California when this happened. And they took her to the Fresno hospital. They said if this were to happen where you guys live, they would have just shipped her to Fresno, and she would have died getting there. So they, airlifted her to San Francisco, which is where we stayed. We didn't have enough money for hotels, so me, my sister, and my dad slept in the back of the car, and then would wake up the next day and just go be in the hospital with my mom the entire time. But what I'm getting at with music is I had Guns N' Roses on my Discman, and that was kind of an escape. It helped me take my mind off that as much as I possibly could, which was almost impossible, but that's what helped me take my mind off it. So I totally get what you're saying with the music being your escape, because it absolutely 100% is. And that's the beauty of music. It has that effect on people.
And I wasn't having to engage with people.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know,
just in your own world.
I'm in my own world, and it was before it was cool on YouTube to sit there and play with songs. Like I would have these big headphones on, and I would annoy the shit out of my neighbors, man. Because I'd just be beating them.
That's what rock and roll is all about,
Yeah,
baby.
man, dude, I was beating the shit out of these things, man. And man, those were some good times. Those were some good fucking times, just sitting there and just escaping the world.
And we all at any point in our lives still need that.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. I try to escape the world as much as I possibly can, but I'm a fairly busy man nowadays, so it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
When did professional wrestling and the love and interest for professional wrestling come into play?
With my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. My dad was huge into professional wrestling, and I remember sitting down on his knee watching professional wrestling and just being in awe with these guys. He used to lay on the couch. Like, this would be so cool. I remember this. He would lay on the couch, and I would always sit, like he would lay sideways on the couch, and I would always sit like on the top of his hip. And I would be sitting up, and it was like my chair on him. I would always sit there, and we would always sit there and watch wrestling that way. Always sit there and watch wrestling. It was either that or I was sitting on his knee watching wrestling. And it was just so drawn into what was going on.
Yeah.
Just so drawn in. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons why I wrestle to this day, because every time I walk out that curtain, I always say a prayer. I'm not like a super religious guy, but I know my dad's watching me.
Absolutely.
I know he is. And I always say a prayer, and I thank him for, number one, giving me life. Make sure that my opponent is safe, make sure I'm safe, and I hope that he's proud. And I do that every time I walk out, before I walk out that curtain. Every time.
Love it. I love it.
Because because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know what professional wrestling is.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to provide, what I have now if it wasn't for him. And I believe truly that everything happens for a reason. It really does. There's a reason why I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now. There's a reason why he passed when he did. Because I believe if he was alive today, I probably wouldn't be in the position that I'm in right now.
Yeah. And so many people we've spoken with, Sledge, have kind of said the same thing, that they went from being pissed off about their circumstances to gratitude, which is so important for any of us in life.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that 2020 taught us when we were on Coffee with Sledge with you, is that, that's what I took a main thing, is just gratitude for the position in life. It's like, yeah, fucked up shit happens, but, that's just life.
It is. You can't dictate life. I mean, to a point you can. And to a point you can. You can dictate your life and what you want to do, and stopping you. That's the crazy part, is no one's stopping you. And I keep tell everybody this. They always ask me, I always get questions like, how did you what you do? I'm like, well, what do you mean? How do I do what I do? How did you become signed with Ring of Honor? Well, I took a chance. How did you get your own, Twitch show or whatever it is? I dictate my own life on where it's going to go. No one's going to dictate your life. No one. Because it's your life. What you do is what you do. Control and control what is in your circle.
Yeah.
Don't try to control what's outside your circle. Fuck what's outside your circle. Inside your circle. Because you can control what's inside your circle. You can't control what's outside your circle. You can't control what people think of you. Okay? And I'm starting to learn that. The more I get, I guess popular would be the best way to put it, the more haters I have.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe that I'm supposed to be where I'm at. I'm still supposed to be half dead in a gutter somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why this? Why I get time? Why? Maybe you should take a look in the mirror and ask yourself the same question. Why am I not in the position?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, as they say, it's always easier to hate on someone else than look in the mirror, right?
Yeah, 100%. You know, that's why I always, every social media I post, man, try to do something positive the whole time on social media, because there's so much negative in the world. There really is. No one fucking on a rant. I apologize. I do that. You can cut me back off. Boom. Sorry.
No, you're good. The rants are good. So at what point then did any sort of substance usage start to come into your life?
You broke up a little bit. What was that?
I said, at what point did any substance usage start to come into your life?
So drinking, like, I started drinking with my uncle right after my dad passed. So alcohol has always been in my family. I come from a huge line of alcoholics and drug addicts. My dad was one of 6, all boys.
Shit.
And most of them are drug addicts or alcoholics. Some of them turned out okay, but most of them were drug addicts and alcoholics. And when my dad passed is when I started drinking, you know, started finding alcohol. I remember, I was 13 when I got drunk the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, off, I think it was vodka and squirt, which was a random combination. Yeah, and my 6'3", he was probably 300 pounds, uncle, jumping on top of me and beating the living shit out of me.
What the fuck?
Because you were drunk?
Because we were both drunk.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's bananas, man. Yeah,
Jumping.
so just kind of recap for people. So not only are you, you know, a kid that's been bullied, the one mentor that you had that you could turn to at anything has now passed away, but now the only other probably close connection, being that it's your dad's brother, is a fucking drunk, and now he's beating the shit out of you, taking you right back to all the trauma that you experienced as a kid from all the bullies.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. I will never forget the day him jumping on top of me and just beating the living shit out of me.
Did you guys ever talk about it after that?
I haven't seen him in I don't know how long. I don't know where he's at, any way, shape, and form.
That's probably not a bad thing.
Well, looking at you now, I'm pretty sure you could beat his ass now.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably a little older. You know? Might be able to take his knee out. But yeah, I don't know where he's at. Last time I heard I think he was homeless in Vegas. This is the last time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I think I really, honestly, I don't know where he's at. But just kept partying, drinking, hiding booze. I remember my biological mother left for a week or something like that for vacation or some shit. I don't know. And I threw a party for like a week. Random people in my house, just drinking and partying, just going nuts.
How old were you then?
Wow, this was in high school. I was probably 17.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Not having the neighbors coming over, partying with us. Yeah. Didn't care. These people were trying to, you know, I had friends for once. I had people that wanted to hang out with me.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, hell yeah, come on over. Oh, I think I was working at Taco Bell at the time. Oh, I have to go to work. And there's people sleeping in my house. I have no idea who the fuck they are. They could have stole half the shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That was a crazy time as well. You know, just doing just a lot of stupid shit, you know, growing up.
Yeah, that seems to be a common, you know, reoccurring theme for those of us that fall into addiction, feeling like an outsider, bullying being one of the areas, or, you know, sexual abuse or terrible situation at home or whatever it is, and you're just looking for connectivity, and all of a sudden, you know, the substance makes you think, I've got friends, I've got connectivity,
Yeah.
I'm a part of something.
I'm a part of something, right?
It's like the most fucked up thing you could be a part of, but you're a part of something.
Yeah, I mean, and you're feeling good at the time.
Yeah.
You know,
5150 Apparel. Lifestyle with a purpose.
and I just kept drinking. You know, drinking. The pills didn't come until I started in professional wrestling. You know, I partied. You know, playing. You know, from getting out of jail and being homeless, and my biological mother hanging up the phone on me and telling me, well, can't help you. I called my sister Colette, and she was living in San Francisco at the time. And I called her Colette and I said, hey, and she asked me, she's like, straight out, where have you been? I've been trying to find you. What the fuck? I tell her I'm in Oxnard, California, of all places. And I need some help. And she goes, can you get to this bus station? And I go, yes, I have no other choice. I'll walk there. And she goes, there's a bus ticket waiting for you right now. And I'm going to bus you up to San Francisco. And we're going to, you could come live with me. Try to help me out, try to rehabilitate my life. But I mean, you got to think, I'm recently out of jail. So I have that jail mentality in my head now.
Sure.
On top of that, I'm a survivor on the street. So now I have that mentality in my head. She buses me from Oxnard, California, all the way to San Francisco, California. And I had that mentality of that still fuck off fucking mentality in my head. So we constantly got into fights where she almost kicked me out a couple times. It was like, hey, like to the point of like sitting me down and shaking me going, look, kid, I'm all you fucking got. If I throw you out, you have fucking nothing. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I've lived on the streets before.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff would you guys fight about?
I don't even really remember, man.
Brother and sister type shit.
Yeah, just brother and sister shit.
Yeah.
I really don't remember what we used to fight about. Now I'm trying to think of like shit that we did try to fight about.
So was prison then, and coming out of it, did you, obviously in prison, well, it's a little harder to get substances, and you said pills didn't really start then. So were you clean through your stint, and were you clean like afterwards, or did it kind of start to set back in again that it was like, I'm feeling all this shit because it's that systemic failure areas that we've talked with other people about. You get failed at home, and then you get failed at school, and then you get failed so much that you end up incarcerated because there's nothing positive socially at all. Did you kind of go back into a phase of numbing yourself from stuff?
Oh yeah.
Out there in San Francisco?
Oh yeah. I was working on Pier 39 and was finding the right people to party with, and off to the races we go, man. Now we're back to partying and house parties, and I wasn't even 21.
Sure.
I was 19 at the time when all this shit was going down in my life. 18 and 19, my early adulthood, just not even, getting my nose wiped yet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find my place again. And I think a lot of the arguments we had, I was intoxicated.
Right. That's probably why you don't remember him. Shit.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I met on Pier 39, man, I met my first, kid's mom.
Wow.
Yeah. And she, at the time I didn't know, but she was on crystal meth.
Fuck.
Yep. Didn't know. She was a meth head, and she told me, she kept driving up. She lived in the town where I live now. She kept driving up to see me in San Francisco, and she's just like, hey, and I thought it was just gonna be a one night thing, man. I really did. It was just, hey, which one of y'all is single? Cool. And then she just kept coming up, and we just kept partying.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, you got to, I lied to her about my age. I remember that now. I lied to her about my age. I told her I was 20 turning 21 when I was 19 turning 20.
Man, how much older was she than you?
26?
God, you sound like me.
What? Yeah.
I was that guy. I'm in a bar with this chick that's 7 years older. I'm not even legally supposed to be here,
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think she was 26. I think. Yeah.
Fuck.
And she gave me the ultimatum, man. She's just like, hey, you're moving down here with me, or we're gonna cut this off. And nothing was holding me in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I was closer to like my hometown, So I said, fuck it. And I think my sister was in Vegas at the time. I really do. And I called her, sent her a message, said, hey, I'm moving out. See ya. And I just pieced the fuck out. Yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah. And then
that was some intoxicated decision making right there.
Dude, it literally was like she was on her way to pick me up. She goes, this is happening or this isn't happening. I go, it's happening. And I called her. She was my sister. She was in Vegas. I believe she was in Vegas. And she was there to pick me up that night. And we turned back around and drove all the way back. Yep.
Fuck, man.
So let me ask you this. At what point did you realize that your first child's mother was a meth head? When did you figure that out?
So she would never sleep in the same room with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And I was like, man, I was like, why don't you just come to bed? Like, come to bed. She was like, no, she would stay up. And we were living with her best friend at the time. And she would never, and they would stay up all fucking night. And then one time, they claimed that they kept getting sick in the house. And this was a really nice place. Like, we were pretty nice place. And she kept claiming that she kept getting sick. They kept getting sick. And there was black mold in the house. It was all over the walls, and it's all over them. And it's in her car. Like, she almost abandoned her car because of this shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then she admitted to me that she was smoking dope. She was smoking meth. And she made me throw away all of my fucking clothes because she claims that I had mold all over my clothes.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And I'm like, I don't have mold on my clothes. Like, I just washed all my shit. And she's claiming that I got mold all over my fucking clothes.
All those sleepless nights, man, that leads to hallucinating.
Yeah.
Psychosis is going on.
Dude, it was absolute fucking bananas, brother. It really was. Like, I never endured anything. And I've never done meth myself.
Sure.
So I don't know how it, what it does to you. Well, I know what it does to you, but I don't know how, like, your mental state or anything like that, but it was really fucking bizarre. Yeah. And like her best friend's ex-husband, we're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on because they're like yelling at the landlord, telling him that they're like knocking into the fucking walls, bro. Like on a shoot. They're trying to knock down the walls to show the landlord that there's fucking mold in the house.
Fuck.
So where did it go from there? Like, you eventually found out, did you?
I told her we need to move out. I said, this shit's got to stop between you and your best friend. We need to move out.
Uh-huh.
So we moved out. I said, or I'm leaving. And she didn't want to lose me at the time. So we moved out into this granny unit that we found for like, something cheap. And she claimed that she was clean. Next thing you know, that the best friend started kind of showing up at our place here and there. But the best friend was way strung out, dude. Way strung out. And sooner or later, I told her, you need to cut that shit off and I was drinking at the time too. So I was suppressing with alcohol, trying to deal with her bullshit while dealing with my bullshit. And it was a car crash to the point of, I think we got into this altercation. I didn't throw hands or anything like that. She claimed she was going to call the cops on me. I think I grabbed her phone. I broke her phone because I was fucking out of my mind. And she was out of her fucking mind. And then I think I left and then we got back together. And I think she really got clean when she found out that she was pregnant. Yeah. I think that's what got her clean, was when she found out she was pregnant.
So let me ask you this. So you were homeless, jail, San Francisco, back with your first baby's chick, and she was on meth and whatnot. What was you've been through a shit ton at this point.
Fuck, we're not even halfway through yet, brother.
what was your bottom? When was it like, okay, fuck, my life is clearly not, I'm assuming, not where I want it to be, not going the route I wanted to go down. When did you realize I need to get this shit together?
6.5 years ago.
6.5 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. I walked into a match, completely intoxicated and pilled out of my mind. I should have never walked out of that curtain, man. And the promoter should have never let me walk out that curtain. And I got into a match in front of thousands of people and made a complete ass out of myself.
How so?
And,
like just sloppy, just falling all over?
Oh, brother, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. And the promoter sent that video out to about 100 different promotions, telling them not to book me anymore.
Oh, fuck.
And I lost a lot of bookings because of it.
Yeah.
A lot. And no one was returning. It's crazy when you hit that rock bottom and you're reaching out for the people that tell you, brother, we're there for you. Whatever you need, brother.
Hey, brother.
And you reach out and no one's there because you're fucking toxic.
Yeah.
That's a lonely place, man. That is a very, very lonely place. And the only person that reached back out to me was my best friend, JD Horror, Jason Turner. And he was my tag partner. He was the one who I was in the match with, who carried me through the whole match. Yeah. And he goes, bro, like, you're fucked up. I was going through a divorce at the time. It was bad. I was going through a lot of shit mentally.
Yeah.
And he goes, you need help. You need to get help because I don't want to lose my best friend. And that was the day that 6.5 years ago, man, I haven't looked back. And it has been easy. Go ahead.
Oh, so when you came out and drinking, pilled out and all that, obviously no names need to be said, but were you with other people doing it or were you by yourself just in the
locker room? I was with other people in the locker room with other people.
So,
yeah.
So it was a common thing that people would, just not that bad, obviously, but you drank in between matches and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was one of those things where it's like I was just continuing from the night before.
Right. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, man. The night before I went out and partied my ass off, and I had this big match, and it was a hardcore match. I've never been in a hardcore match before. So a lot of different emotions going on. And I think, I got to JD's house at like 10 in the morning, just strung out. And I was like, just kept drinking. Because when you're intoxicated, it's like the hair of the dog.
Sure.
You just kind of keep drinking, so you kind of level yourself out. Well, I just kept going. And I didn't go on until 10 that night, So, and that was just nothing but bottles and drinking and bottles and a lot of pills and a lot of other shit that was being ingested that day.
What pills was it? Were you getting on Oxy or I know Somas were kind of a thing that went around wrestling?
Somas, Vikes, and Norcos.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, dude. I had the deadly combination, man. And when I was talking to Jason, I had a bottle in my hand. I had pills within arm reach, and I seriously thought about just ending my life right then and there. 100%. I thought about that multiple times while I was intoxicated. Why am I here? Why am I still living? Why you want to not wake up?
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. You're going to feel like absolute dog shit the next day. Why would you want to wake up? And
I remember when we were talking with Edward Furlong that, I had put out there what I had heard. I think it was Nikki Sixx was the first person that I heard say it, or I'd interviewed him or something. He said, yeah, two things happen to addicts: either you get clean or you die. And Edward Furlong said, no, there's a third one. You continue to wake up and you continue to use and go through that misery. And people don't realize it is fucking miserable. It is so fucking miserable. It's
one of the worst. And it's crazy because I battle addiction. Like, addiction's a battle every single day.
Yeah.
I could easily go to, what's crazy in this time right now is the gyms are fucking closed, but the liquor stores are wide the fuck open. Mm-hmm. Go figure. I could easily go and grab a bottle of whatever the fuck and just go to town. But I choose not to because I remember that fucking feeling.
Sure.
I remember feeling like absolute dog shit, throwing up in the shower every single morning, throwing up blood in the shower every single morning. I remember that, and I never want to feel that ever again, ever.
$51.50 apparel. Lifestyle with a purpose.
Well, so what was your process of getting help? Did you enter rehab or just start attending meetings? What was it for you that once you recognized that rock bottom, that it was like, oh shit, now not only this thing, because there was, I don't know, remember how many matches I saw you work or call, but you always worked your fucking ass off really hard. You gave it everything you had. So where's the point where you just went, I can't lose this, let alone those that I love? What was the process then of going to get cleaned up? How did you go about it?
Well, I already lost everything, after I lost everything I loved. I almost lost I lost professional wrestling. At the time, I lost professional wrestling. I lost my wife at the time. I lost my kids. I lost everything. So there was only, way of like, that was my rock bottom. There's only up. And to answer your question, and this is just me, is the mind is so strong. It really is. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do 100%. And I put my buddy on FaceTime, and I took all the alcohol and I dumped it down the toilet, and I took all the pills and I dumped them. And I told him just to check on me. Please check on me every single day. And he did. He came and checked on me every single day. I've never gone to a meeting. And that's just me. And if meetings help you guys, please go to meetings. Do what you need to do to help you.
Yeah.
Please. And I started to listen to a lot of motivational stuff. Positive, trying to get rid of the negative and trying to bring positivity into my life. Because it's amazing. When you wake up, you have 24 hours in the day. What are you going to do with those 24 hours? Are you going to... Everybody has bad days. Are you going to sulk in your bad day that you had the day before? Or are you going to wake up and go, today's a new day. What am I going to do? Yeah. What goal am I going to accomplish today? And I just kept, and the thing is though, is I traded two addictions, I guess, alcohol and drugs, for a food addiction. So as I'm getting clean, I'm just eating.
Yeah.
I'm a fat kid at heart. I really am. So all I did was just eat, and I ballooned up, man. Once you get sober, like I ballooned up, man. I got up to like 320 pounds, I think, was like my heaviest. And I was just all big, man. And I was out of the wrestling game. No promoter would really take a chance. I was maybe wrestling maybe once a month, if I was lucky. And I was in horrible shape. I couldn't go for very long. And I wasn't happy. I still wasn't happy. I wasn't content. I mean, I had a good job, working for the cable company. I had a great job, making a great living. Just wasn't happy. Yeah. I'm watching all my friends on TV getting signed. I don't want to say friends. I apologize. Wrestling acquaintances is the best way to do it. A lot of people that I broke into the indies with getting signed to these bigger companies. And I'm like, man, if I wasn't a fucking drug addict and alcoholic, I probably could have been right there with them.
Yeah.
I went to a WWE tryout. Pretty out of my mind. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I never thought the WWE would ever knock on my door again.
Yeah. And,
understandably. They knocked on my door I think it was 2018. 2017, 2018. I think I did like 4 different things with them in like 2018.
Yeah.
17, one of those two. Yeah.
Yeah, you had little like backstage kind of roll little things, right?
Yeah, did a couple backstage rolls and kind of kept in contact with them. And last time they were in town, they asked me if I wanted to come out, and I had to politely decline because I had a Ring of Honor on the table. So. Yeah.
So, to let people know, though, the ways in which you really turned your life around, though, was not only focusing, on these career goals. Again, like you said, you had a good job, but it wasn't what you did. It was you really not only dedicated your fitness mentally, emotionally, and physically, but towards that task of becoming a professional wrestler. That was all you were going to do, and you've gotten there.
Yeah. So it was just watching them and I was like, man, I got to get my fucking shit together. Like, really, like, I got to get my shit together. And I started getting in shape, man. Right after Christmas, I started getting in shape. It was like a New Year's resolution. Like, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to drop a bunch of weight, and I'm going to start wrestling again. And promoters in California were still very like, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. You've only been clean for a little bit. I'm not quite sure. And I begged them, give me a chance. Let me show you. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. And during that time, I started my own wrestling promotion to help get myself ready to get back into the indie scene. So I was booking all these guys and putting on my own wrestling show, but then the guys would go back to the promoters and be like, yo, dude, Sledge is fucking, he's killing it. He's looking good. He's getting in there. So then they would give me the opportunity to come to their show and show them what I could do. And then it was just kind of a trickler effect. And then next thing you know, I was in the right place at the right time with the Steve Austin podcast.
Yeah, that's right. You did get on that. That was with you went down with AJ, right?
AJ
Kirsch, mutual friend of ours. Yeah, great guy.
I did the Steve Austin podcast, and next thing you know, man, I'm an indie darling, you know, and clean and sober, and now I'm loving life. Now I'm loving what I'm doing. You know, I wasn't loving professional wrestling like I love it now. I was loving professional wrestling for the party.
Right.
So I was just partying and just loving the after parties and loving the girls and loving the attention that I wasn't getting. So I felt like this was, I guess I'm an attention whore to a point, you know, like we all are, you know. So I was getting the attention from all sides here, you know, and I was loving it. So I was loving the attention more than I was loving the wrestling. But now I love the wrestling, and I felt just madly in love with wrestling. And when I did the Austin podcast, man, that launched me into a different bracket. And then next thing you know, I'm flying to different states, and just now I'm on Impact Professional. Now I'm on Impact, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I'm on Impact. And then Impact launched me into this different bracket. And then, you know, Ring of Honor. And now it's just been snowballing since like 2000. I want to say probably about 2017. It's all snowballed. And it's just been an amazing ride. And it's all because I'm sober, and I try to keep my mental as best as I possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're kicking ass, man. Hey, before we get to our rapid questions, why don't you tell folks a little bit about what you're doing with Coffee with Sledge?
Coffee with Sledge happened out of a pandemic. I wanted to learn to talk better, which I don't feel like I've done very well on this podcast, and I apologize.
Fuck, you're great, man.
I wanted to learn how to talk better, because in everything that we do, you have to have a voice behind it. And I was doing it on Instagram Live, and I have a buddy named Zicky Dice who does a great Twitch show, www.twitch.tv/Zicky Dice. And he's like, dude, you're doing this on Instagram Live. Why don't you do it on Twitch? And I was like, let me see. Let me try to work it out, and so on and so forth. And then I was popped into a Twitch stream with my buddy Marty the Moth. And I found my producer, who you guys met, on my show. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of snowballed. I started booking guests and figuring it all out. And now we do a show Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we bring guests on like you guys that we do very positive, motivational, people that have stories and want to get out there and just try to promote themselves. And we do a lot of professional wrestling. We do like guys like you guys, that are motivational speakers, that are podcasters. I mean, we've had Jay Lethal on. We've had, I'm trying to think of a list. We've had so many guests that are just like, yeah, man, let's do it. And it just all happened out of a pandemic. And sooner or later, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to turn it into a podcast, just like you guys. And I've talked to a guy named Gabe Tuff, who owns Body Spartan. And we're going to start doing a motivational podcast together sooner or later. After we start getting the ball rolling, probably after the first of the year, we're going to start doing a motivational podcast together.
I dig it, man.
I love it. I really do. I never thought that I would love, and we're live, which is cool. We're live and we're entering. You guys were there, and we're taking questions from the fans.
Yeah.
And it's very interactive, and we're having fun. And I've had people cry on my podcast, and it's, I don't know, man. It's just something that I really, really enjoy doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we had a blast. We were saying it's kind of cool to go at it without a net, and just here it is. The content's out there, and
we're friends. We all can sit here and BS with the best of them, man. But when you can get somebody so comfortable with you, because a lot of people are very hesitant sometimes, and you guys probably get this, are very hesitant on coming on and sharing. So your job as the host is to try to get them as comfortable as possible to open up.
Mm-hmm.
And the easier it is for them to relax and get used to you is the more all the stories will flow. And now you're off to the races. Now you're having a good podcast. And I've literally had people in my chat telling me that they're bawling their eyes out right now from a story that somebody told.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them that my podcast has helped them through hard times, because we're all in a world right now where the unknown is completely unknown, and suicide rate has skyrocketed, and alcohol has skyrocketed, everything is skyrocketed towards bad, not necessarily towards good, but towards bad. And people to hit me up and tell me that I've helped them stay away from all of that bad, that means the world to me, and that means that I'm doing somewhat of a good job. Is the best way to put it. So, and you guys probably get that as well, which I love your guys' show.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, no, we have, and there's been some messages more lately that it's helped people, and they'll go back to an episode or check out a new one, and it's like, okay, we're not getting 1 million listens per episode yet, but hey, it's awesome that we are helping one person at least at a time, and that's the mission.
I love what we do. Besides professional wrestling, I love doing this.
Yeah, for sure.
And if I can, I've already made professional wrestling a career. If I can make this as a career too, then just like you guys, sky's the limit. It really is.
Oh yeah. All right, Sledge. Well, let's jump into some rapid fire questions. Mikey, you're up first.
What are some of your pet peeves?
Oh shit!
I know, right?
You probably get that. You probably get that answer a lot. Oh shit!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh, pet peeves. And this is gonna sound really dicky, and I'm sorry,
dude. The pettier, the better. That's what pet peeves are about. It's nothing serious. It's just little shit that just pisses you off.
Dogs on planes.
Oh, hey, yeah. I can understand. Because there's too many people that have the support pet when they don't fucking need the support pet.
I don't think I've ever been on a plane with a dog.
I was on one yesterday.
We had one.
Yeah, I was on one yesterday. Yeah, I was on one yesterday.
What kind of dog?
Oh, I don't remember what it. I remember what it was. I don't know like the breed or anything like that, but it literally. I was sitting up front, and it literally would not calm the fuck down. And I'm looking at her, and I go, "Support animal?" She goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, it's not really doing a good job.
Sure as hell isn't supporting the
Yeah, it's not supporting anything. Sooner or later, once we got in the air, it calmed down. But I mean, I'm sorry. I think a lot of people take it, for granted, the support animal thing. I really do, and that's.
I agree. No, I agree. I think people have taken it a little bit too far. Have
you seen some of the shit that people bring on planes?
Oh,
fuck. They say that they're fucking support animals?
Oh, God, yeah.
Fuck.
I love my dog so much to where I wouldn't take her on a plane because I know she would freak out.
Right.
So I wouldn't do that to her.
Yeah. I have 2 dogs. I would never, I don't even really necessarily like to take them in the car with me, and that's just me.
Yeah. No, I get it. Because my dog, she's a deer chihuahua. She's a rescue. They're afraid of everything. They're very skittish. They're afraid of everything. So I want to keep her in her comfort zone.
Yeah,
and her comfort zone is with me, but at the same time, she doesn't like being in cars either. So I will never take her on a plane because you got to she's not a support one. So she would have to go under in a cage, and I would never do that to her.
Yeah, it's just, That's one of my big pet peeves. Yeah, is that I got a couple other little here's and there's, but you know,
Like what?
Oh shit. I'm trying to think of something that's like not like. I'm an on-time person. That's a big fucking pet peeve of mine. Is an on-time person. It's one of those like, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time.
Yeah.
And I'm always early. I try to be early as much as I possibly can to things. I hate being on time. I always like to be early. And I hate, and one of the big things is I'm a huge planner. And I hate when shit gets out of whack. Like it plugs in my mental state, dude. I can't go on the fly with a day. I always have to have my day planned.
Yeah. Well, and I can understand that. I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
All right. If you could have dinner with just one person, living or not, who would it be and why?
Oh, good question, man. These are awesome. Probably The Rock.
Yeah. And why is that?
That seems cool as shit.
Just to his business. To pick his brain about business.
Yeah.
Because he has his hand in so many different shit. Yeah. So many different things, from his tequila to the XFL to movies to wrestling to you name it, man. He's like the most popular guy on social media. You know, he really is. And he was labeled the most popular guy on social media. And I would just want to sit down with him, have a meal with him. I would like to sit down and have a cheat day with him.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So he does do those epic meals.
Oh, brother. And just pick his brain about business.
Yeah.
I think just movies alone, he's like the highest paid actor right now, isn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Like all deals aside, just movies, I think he is the highest paid, something like that.
Yeah, have you seen the role that he's getting ready for, the DC role? The guy's like 290 pounds fucking jacked.
Yeah. Black Adam. Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He wants to look the part.
And he's just, and I think I would, on top of the business side is the work ethic that's there too. Some advice on that kind of work ethic, you know, because no, you can't teach work ethic, but you can provide someone with your tools that you've used and how it works. Like you, a scheduler. I'm trying to fucking become a scheduler, Sledge. I am so goddamn bad about it. Just ask this guy. It's like
I have to be because he's not, and I'm not that good either. But I have. One of us has to be.
Well,
someone's got to steer the ship. You know?
Somebody needs a personal assistant, and it's me.
It's all on the iPhone. I just got it on the phone.
All right, what do you got, Mike?
All right, if they were to make a movie about you, who would you want to play you? What actor would you pick to play yourself?
Well, I get mistaken for it. I've been mistaken for him a couple times, and people say I do kind of look like him. I'll probably have Batista do it.
Oh, yeah. Dave Batista?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah, I'd have Dave Batista do it. Yeah.
I could see. And his chops have gotten so good, too.
Yeah, so a lot of people say that if Roman Reigns and Dave Batista had a baby, it would be me. So, all right. But yeah, definitely probably Dave Batista. I'd probably have him do the role. He's already got his nose pierced like I do. Yeah. You know, he's great at. He's doing great things in the acting world. He's also already can do the professional wrestling thing. So yeah, probably him.
That's a perfect pick. What do you think is your greatest achievement?
Ooh, being able to give my kids what I wasn't able to give, what I wasn't able to have when I was a kid, and that's a good childhood.
Oh, yeah.
I try as hard as I can to be there for them as much as I possibly can. I know that I have a very, very crazy schedule, but I try to be there as best as I can for them, as much as I can. So, yeah.
One more there, Mikey.
If you could travel anywhere in time, but you had to stay there, so you can go back in time, you can go into the future, but you had to stay there, what would you choose?
But I had to fucking stay there.
And you don't need to, it would be the same, say you were to go back 10 years, it would be the exact same. You're going who you are today, but just back or forward.
Well, sometimes I believe I was born in the wrong, like I was born in the era, but like I'm not an adult in the era. And it's probably the 80s, man. Because I love 80s hair metal. So
I swear I told my dad the same thing. I said, man, I was born in the wrong era, man. I was born. He goes, no, you were born in the right era to bring it back. That's what he always said. That's what he would say.
I'm a huge Skid Row, Motley Crue, like just being on the, you know, the strip in Hollywood would just be.
Fuck yeah.
And then the 80s wrestling was fucking amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Probably the 80s, man. To be real, you know, I was born in the 80s, but like I'm not an adult in the 80s, so yeah, it'd probably be the 80s.
It's funny because, you know, we get some people that, you know, will go into the future, and I'm like, man, the way 2020's been going, I don't want to go any more into the future with the unknown. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I want to, you know, go like into tomorrow and the next day, but like to go into like 2060 or 2080, it's like no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take it day by day.
Yeah, 100%. That's the best way to take it, man.
Could you imagine going from 2010 to 2020 and you're on house arrest and you didn't even get arrested? You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You got to wear a mask, which we already talked about. I'm good with that. But everything else has just been nuts.
How did I even get here? What the fuck? Yeah.
What do you mean I can't leave my house?
What the fuck did I do? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I did. Yeah.
Why is my barbershop closed? Why is everything closed? Yeah.
Why can I not go and have a meal? What the fuck?
Yeah, right. I know.
Walmart's open though, so we're good there.
Walmart's open. Walmart, Target, and the liquor store. I guess everything's fine and dandy. You know what the fuck? You know, but like you've never heard like, and I'm not a political person, any way, shape, and form. I think all politics are fucking crooks. You know, so on and so forth. But you've never heard of a COVID outbreak in a fucking gym.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You've never heard of
safe. COVID doesn't exist in supermarkets. Doesn't exist in Target. Doesn't exist in Walmart.
Nope.
Only gyms, barbershops, tattoo shops, beauty salons.
You and I personally know of a big chain store where somebody that I was close to at one time personally got COVID. So that shit fucking exists. So it is.
It was sarcasm. The point is, all these big places are open, but the little guys aren't.
Yeah. I mean,
I know what you're talking about.
Try to support your local businesses as best you can. They're going through such a hard time right now. And it's just very one of those things, man, where it's just like the unknown is the unknown. And, you know, everybody's just trying to hold on for the best. There it is. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to get into it.
All right, good.
I'm not a politician, so
we don't go into politics.
As far as business, I will say this though: reach out to the small businesses on Instagram, shoot them like a direct message, get a gift card from them. You know, all that kind of stuff. Just buy a little gift card, keep them afloat.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Second and third that.
You get the final word. If you could inspire anyone that you know, not only seeking sobriety or is new through sobriety, but also maybe that wants to pursue that dream. Any words of encouragement?
Don't take no for an answer. 100%.
I love it.
You know, you can do anything in this world, anything you want, and you're gonna have people that tell you all the time, you cannot do this. You can't. You can't. You can't. You can't. Take the can't out. You can. You can do anything you want. I'm a living proof comeback story, 100%. And I plan. I just. You can do it. You know, final words. You can do anything you want in this world. Just put your mind to it and understand that it's going to be hard work. It's not going to be easy. You are going to fall. You're going to fall hard. But if you're willing to get back up and show people that you're not going to take no for an answer, fuck, sky's the limit, man. It really is, dude. The sky's the fucking limit. You know, I'm just scratching the surface right now. You know, I'm 6.5 years clean and sober. I'm just scratching the surface. You know, and you're not alone. Any way, shape, and form. You are not alone out there in the world. There's somebody that cares for you. Trust me.
That's Absolutely. A perfect place to end it right there.
Hey, thanks, brother.
That's perfect.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Sledge, always a pleasure, brother.
Always a pleasure.
I get those lines, so impossible. I'm a